Hey everybody, it's Rebecca with the Santosha Way, and I am your Akashic Records facilitator. Today we're talking about the Taurus New Moon that's happening on May 19th, 2023. This is going to be at 8:53 a.m. if you're on the Pacific time zone, 10:53 a.m. for Central, and then that's 11:53 a.m. if you're on the Eastern time zone. It's happening in the fixed earth sign of the bull. Now, a fixed sign means we don't like to change, right? An earth sign is our physical, tangible reality. It has to do with our finances, our physical body, the earth itself, our environment, all of those things. So Taurus is ruled by Venus, and this is our planet of love. It has to do with our values, all things beautiful, right? And it's associated with the second house of value. The second house covers all matters that relate to your immediate material and physical environment. This is your body, your taste, smells, sound, touch, sights, right? The second house also rules income, your personal money, property, possessions, self-esteem. Ultimately is all about your personal value and your values, the things that you value in life. Taurus is a sign that is all about sensuality, pleasure. It's very methodical in its processes. It seeks comfort, security, and it's a sign about tradition as well. It's actually a very traditional sign because it's fixed, right? It wants to stay just continuing the tradition, um, plotting the field, tending the field, all of that sort of stuff. So, the real questions to ask under this new moon here are, what traditional ways of being do you need to transform in order to create the life that truly brings you the comfort, security, and pleasure that you seek? How much energy, be it effort, time, or money, are you willing to invest in order to truly reach your goals? That's such a great question. All right, so we are wrapping up Taurus season actually with this wonderful opportunity to set intentions in this area of our life. The sun has bringing awareness to it since April 20th. And while this is the second house of value, collectively speaking, where this shows up in your personal life depends on your natal chart, and that will shift your area of focus to a particular area. You can find out more about this over in Phased by the Moon on Facebook, and I will have a link if you would like to join us. Now, we are actually leaving eclipse season, thank goodness. Sigh of relief, right? Mercury has stationed direct. It was retrograde, kind of sandwiched in between these two eclipses, and it was just it was a lot. It was a lot of energy for a lot of people, right? We are still in the post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde, but things should start to ease up energetically. Ultimately, we should start to see some more relaxed energy coming through. I say relaxed, but Gemini season's about to hit on the 21st, and Gemini season energy will pick up energetically. But when I say relax, it will be a little bit more easier going, not as heavy, intense like eclipses, and especially Scorpio eclipses. Those are just wild. So let's talk about this though. This new moon here feels like a real opportunity to take in some simple pleasures of life. Luxury is a word associated with Taurus, but simplicity is as well, right? This is the type of energy that contemplates if the energy required is actually worth their investment. They will flat out take a nap to honor their body's need to rest. And while they are like diligent and hardworking, they're definitely going to say, is this worth my time to do it, right? So Taurus energy loves comfort of all kinds, be it clothing, food, or just their personal environment. So some questions you might want to ask yourself right now is, how can you honor your body? How can you really ground into your body and be present in your body? How can you honor the fact that you are a physical human being in this time and space and really take advantage of your senses, your five senses. Experience pleasure, taste things, really be present and be in the moment, be in your body. How can you do that? I have some suggestions later, but think about those things. In what ways would you like to experience more comfort in your life, right? What does security look like to you? What feels like sensual pleasure? What simple pleasures can you indulge in to get back to the basics in life? Those are really great questions. Now, for the energies at play under this new moon, we have a stellium in Taurus, and this is when you have 3 or more planets present in one sign. So we have the sun and the moon here, right? That's what makes it a new moon. The sun and the moon is dark. It's very dark in the sky. We don't have a lot of information about things. We're putting these intentions out there, but we don't fully have anything formed. We're not taking real steps yet. There's still a lot of unknowns and things hidden. That's what makes a new moon. Mercury is also present in Taurus, just coming out of that retrograde. It's helping us to process all the information that we reviewed and to verbalize what we've been feeling, and really kind of put it out there. And it's also, Mercury is forming a sextile to Saturn in Pisces right now. This is a smooth aspect, but it's going to ask us to be committed to our vision with a plan of action. Saturn wants to know, like, what are you going to do? What's the effort that you're putting in? If this is where you want to get, what effort are you going to put in for it? So that's something to think about. When you're putting those intentions out there, Saturn's going to ask you to move into action. Jupiter is in Taurus at 0 degrees. It just moved in there Tuesday, which was the 16th, okay? And this brings about this fresh new beginning energy at the 0 degree mark, right? It's going to remain here for 12 months. Jupiter goes into a sign, and I have to tell you, guys, there's going to be a lot of people out there saying Jupiter's a benefactor planet, get ready for all the blessings, money, money, money is going to come in because it's Taurus, money, love, pleasure, get ready to expand and grow. But I do want to keep in mind, I would like you to keep in mind, I feel responsible. I feel like it's important to tell you and remind you that Jupiter actually is our planet of growth and expansion. Yes, it's a benefactor planet. Yes, it brings blessings, but it also brings wisdom, teaching. It's the guru. It brings excessiveness. Excessiveness doesn't always look like money rolling in the door. It can also look like money rolling out the door. Overindulgence. It can be, overindulging in pleasure and food and comfort and all of these things, and which is a negative thing, right? So it's not always about you're going to have loads of pleasure and food and comfort or money coming in. You have to just keep that in perspective. It is excessive. It is expansive. It calls you forward into something bigger and grander. Now we also have Uranus hanging out in Taurus. It's been here for forever, I think since 2008. Don't quote me on that, but I think that that's correct. This is our planet of shock and surprises. It doesn't really seem to have a big role in this new moon. However, I personally feel that whatever intentions that we're putting out right now is going to be heard loudly. And when Taurus, that Taurus full moon eclipse comes back around October 28th, 6 months from now, completing that greater 6-month cycle from this new moon, I think that we're going to see Uranus show up a little bit more at that time. So I think it's just kind of sitting here listening to our intentions and having us, it's kind of, I feel like it's just watching and waiting and preparing to realign us with a path forward 6 months from now based on the work that we put in, the effort that we put forward, the changes that we make in our life. That will determine where we get realigned when it comes down to that eclipse, right? Because eclipses realign us to our destiny points. They are portals. And destiny points, you can go either direction depending on what you're ready to receive and what you're ready to step into. We also have the North Node that is active here at this time. It isn't really part of a stellium because it's not a planet, it's the North Node. But it's worth noting it is present here, and this is, this is our destiny points. Collectively, the North Node being in Taurus, we're being asked to be more Taurinian in nature. Oh, that was hard to say. More Taurinian in nature. A little bit more sensual, a little bit more at ease, a little bit more standing in our value, honoring our body, honoring the environment, things like that, and a little less scorpionic in nature. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of this because you can look at all the different Taurus Scorpio axis things that we've talked about in the eclipse seasons, but it's releasing some of the lower vibe energies of Scorpio, releasing hoarding energies that aren't serving us. Letting things go and rising up into a higher value, transforming, right? Now, we also have Pluto, our planet of transformation, death, and destruction. It's active here at this new moon, and it is at 0 degrees as well, just like Jupiter is. It's at 0 degrees Aquarius. It is retrograde. It has just gone retrograde not that long ago. Does it every year. It's really not that big of a deal, but when Pluto is retrograde, it's more of an internal transformation. And it is calling for us to transform some of those traditional ways of Taurus into something more futuristic that's going to support that higher value. Aquarius is all about innovation for the benefit of the community, for the benefit of the whole, not the one. So at this time, when you're thinking about transforming traditional ways of being or your values or anything like that, consider like, what do you need to change in order to step into this new world, new energy, new version of you, into the new place where you have that security and comfort that you seek, where you're experiencing the value that you really want in life, right? What do you need to transform? Chances are you need to let go of some of those old ways of being, those old traditions, but maybe you need to bring some of those old traditions back in. Maybe you need to look at some of the traditions that you have let go of that would serve you at this time to bring forward. And this is where I think sometimes going back to basics is a good idea, and bringing in some of those more simple pleasures can really benefit you in your life at this time. So Neptune is also here. It's making a harmonious aspect in Pisces to the moon at this time. It's going to support this higher spiritual wisdom coming through and ask us to kind of look at life through the lens of unconditional love. Now, let's talk about the energy of this week in general. Jupiter moved into Taurus on the 16th. And then on the 17th, the very next day, it squared Pluto in Aquarius on the 17th. So this is kind of that energy, asking us to look at our traditions. Let's expand things. Let's consider, let's learn something new. Let's learn a foreign concept. Let's create something different. Jupiter is also going to conjunct the North Node on June 1st. So that's just something to keep in mind for the future. I know it's not happening this week, but it's something to consider. When Jupiter conjuncts the North Node on June 1st, this feels really important because that's our destiny point. That's what we're moving forward into. And Jupiter is really going to kind of expand that and maybe bring some information, some wisdom, and enlightenment to that day. Mars will be moving into Leo on the 20th, which is the day after this new moon. It's in Cancer right now, so it's going to bring a little bit more sensitivity into our action, a little bit more softer energy, but then it's moving straight into Leo on the 20th. And when it does that, it's going to oppose Pluto and Aquarius and create some tension. And then it's going to turn around and square Jupiter in Taurus on the 23rd, which is next week. So Mars is going to be making a couple of quick little moves there that creates some tense moments. And what this is doing is just calling us forward into change. It's going to show us where we need to make changes, where we need to do things differently, right? Then we have Gemini season kicking off on the 21st, which is going to bring about some faster moving energy. Gemini is an air sign, it's very back and forth. You should feel things pick up a lot more. Under this Taurus season, we've had a lot of slow energy. Mercury retrograde creates slow vibes anyway. Taurus energy is slow moving. So we've just had this really big slowdown. And we're going to be coming out of that and kind of zooming forward in Gemini season. Be prepared for that. And then of course we have the lighter days of summer where we have to kind of really put in that work so that we can harvest those fruits of all of our efforts that we put in the summer. I've said this before. I think it's important to note what I see happening. You know, we have our eclipses in the spring and we have them in the fall, and it sort of realigns us to our destiny point. And then we spend our summer putting in all that work to have that eclipse realign us in the fall to wherever we're ready to be based on the work that we put in, based on that energy. So this new moon right here, this first new moon coming out of eclipse season, feels very important. And that which you commit to, those intentions that you put out there, really take the time to honor them and move towards them and work towards them over the summer so that you can come out of this on the other side when we have that Taurus full moon eclipse, October 28th, and you can be set up for some really big success to wrap up the year with, right? Now, for a ritual, right? New moon ritual, consider a food meditation ritual. This is a beautiful practice where you hold food in your mouth, and it can be something like the size of a blueberry. It needs to be something that fits on your tongue, right? You hold the food in your mouth just for 30 seconds or so before chewing and swallowing it. Hold it there. Receive the energy from it. Really taste it. Really feel it in your mouth. This is a very grounding experience, and it's actually very sensual to have this food meditation ritual happening. If you're not into that and you want to do something different, get outside. Get out in nature. Go plant something to really ground your intentions in for this moon cycle. Plant a new flower, set your intentions, speak them out over the things that you're planting. Acknowledge that as I tend this all year long, I'm also tending those intentions, bringing yourself back around. Ooh, I remember when I planted this and those intentions that I set forward at that time, so that you can call those back in. That's another great ritual. Over at the Santosha Way, we are gearing up for return to Aldebaran on May 29th. Now, what this is a meditation. Aldebaran is known as part of the Silver Gate portal, where we go just before we incarnate into this lifetime. And as a soul, we go there, we're on Aldebaran, and our soul spends time in reflection about our intentions for this lifetime and this experience. And this Silver Gate portal is going to be most active from May 29th through the 31st. So we're going to journey into the space for you to receive insight, wisdom, guidance from your own Akashic records, your higher self, your guides, and your angels. I'm so excited about facilitating this. It's going to be a lot of fun. And whenever we have these types of meditations, people have some really amazing experiences that come out of it. So some of the things we're going to be focusing on is what lessons did you intend to experience? What gifts did you intend to unlock and master? What legacy did you intend to leave behind on this earth? And how can you align with your intended path from here? I think we'll also maybe address what kind of soul contracts you might have that are standing in your way or supporting you. I'm not really sure what all we're going to go into just yet, but I know that we're going to take you back to that place, to that energy where you're sitting there in your soul form and you're contemplating your future life and planning that out. So if you want to join us, I have the link below. It's going to be 11/11, a super simple, easy thing. I can host 100 people, and there will be a replay available, of course, for that meditation. So I hope to see you there. As always, guys, may you be Santosha, and I will see you in the next video.